So you can see I've already been welcomed. We were walking around a few other hotels. They are gorgeous, but a little bit pricey. So Lee and I took our chance. We were walking down the streets and we found a place that just looks perfect. So we took a train, we stayed in a hotel, I rode the bicycle, Lee took a bus, and we are farther deeper into the mountains, snowy peaks all around, and it is exactly time for dinner. So there is no lack of food around here. Absolutely no lack, but we wanted to find not just authentic flavors, but also the authentic price. So when we saw this shop, it just looked perfect. Yeah, just what it looks like. Just a normal restaurant kind of sandwiched in between a ton of other tourist stuff, so we're very happy to be able to find this. We've ordered the food, okay? I'm just walking around the restaurant, looking around. This is something we took a long time. We were researching, we wanted to find something like this. So we are not driving ourselves, but Sichuan, when you get up into the highlands, oh man, there is an abundance of different places calling for your attention. They're all high elevation, magnificent viewpoints, but very hard to reach. We started this morning, -1 centigrade, waited until it was 6 degrees, and then I rode for 4 hours. Lee, she took care of all of our stuff. She took a bus, and now we are down in elevation about 1,000 meters lower than where we were yesterday. So it feels like, even at 2,000 meters up here, it feels like the air is so rich, so thick. I'm taking off my jacket, getting ready for dinner. So the first thing to come is this type of tea. It is the buttermilk tea, and it's yak milk, suyo cha. We got the chance to learn the recipe of this from a lovely auntie about 5 years ago, but it's been so long since I've had it. I cannot wait. Suyo cha. Cheers. Where did we have this last? So many single-digit or even sub-zero mornings and nights. This is just, I love it. And then there's a lot of other yak meat stuff. We ordered 2 different dishes. We got a soup and we got some yak dumplings or baozi. Then we got qingkebin, and then we got this walnut noodle salad, I guess. I don't know, sounds very interesting. So food like this, I mean, we're in China, so I'm definitely not an expert anyways, but this food, I have no idea where to begin. We have both bread and rice and dumplings, but dumplings are one of my favorite foods, so let's try this one first. So these are like some miniature baozi, and I know that they are baozi because of the way that it's wrapped, but it is definitely a dumpling. I mean, look at that. So it's a dry chili in the middle. So we're gonna go for a dip, and I think this is a one-biter. It's yak meat, by the way. It's a little bit dry at first, and maybe I took too many chilies. I can't really differ between yak or beef, but it's just at these high altitudes, yak is the main meat. It's really good. Almost no herbs. There's not so many vegetables on the table. You see, it's like meat and carbohydrates in many different forms. It's good. It is definitely a type of food that keeps you warm up at the high elevations. And let's switch to the other carbohydrate over here. This is a roasted cake, and he sprinkled a little bit of cumin and red chili, and then I hope Sichuan peppercorn. Let's see. Just like the terrain, just like the lands that we rode through to get here. It's very dry. I need to hydrate it with some buttermilk tea. Yeah, it's a great snack right there. We'll save that unique salad, that noodle for last. What's definitely necessary when the weather starts to get cold? Meaty soup, meaty stew like this. A bunch of different yak parts in there, and then a bonus, I didn't know there were so many mushrooms. Lee told me about that. She's like, it's so amazing. They dry each of the ingredients before then using them in a stew. Really, after how much work it took to get here, and we still got here in like the easiest way possible. It was such a treat to have the perspective going through all those lands, seeing people working in the fields, seeing the yaks walking around, seeing the farmers tending the yaks and the sheep and the goats, and then thinking, we're so lucky we can come and just order these foods in a restaurant. We don't have to take care of the animals. We don't have to brave the cold. Barely. I braved the cold today, but barely. Anyways, I'm really thankful. And the travel gives you so much more perspective even. Just that much more gratitude for your daily life. We do have another chili dip. No, need some meat for that. What am I doing?
마지막 군옥이 너무 산에 그 하나 또에서 2년 만인가 3년가 하나 또에다 사무실에다가 군옥이 안 지났거든요.
So it might not be surprising, there is not really the herbal depth of flavor. It's more the roasted flavors. It makes sense. They use fire to cook almost everything. It's dried, like some other ingredients, and then roasted or grilled. Yeah, that is the order. I mean, the other things look a little bit more exotic, but that's the order. That's the meal of sustenance right there. Okay, last, definitely the eye catcher, the really unique item, the walnut flour salad. When Lee read that item off the menu, I said, wait a minute, what? Are you translating that correctly? Yeah, what a cool dish. What a unique dish. It's like a mushroom or like kelp. My first reaction is kelp, but then when you chew it, it's a little bit soft. You know, walnut can also be pressed to make walnut oil and then use that in different bread recipes. So walnut is so useful. I didn't even know. I don't know if they would do that here, but that's my instinct. These are the things I really look forward to. You know what? These are the things that I remember the most. The super fancy meals are special and amazing and colorful and unique, but it's the daily food that I really remember when I treasure the memories of a place. This is awesome. This are awesome. As much as any of the dishes on the table. To me, the fermented butter tea is also an absolute highlight. Like 7 or 8 of these. I don't know much about this, but I know the famous Tibetan warriors from books. They would ride with this buckwheat, like dry mix in their pockets or in their saddlebags, and then bring dry milk or cheese, high elevation cheese, and then maybe find water and then mix it up. But there's like a handmade bread. We're gonna have that sometime soon. I know it. It's called Zhangzha. I love beef intestines. What do you know? I love yak intestines too. There's a lot of stuff in this small bowl. It's not my favorite chili dip of the whole trip, but it does the job. I love the dry chilies that they use up here. I gotta bring some of these home. For sure it's in this too. So as we're hanging out with the owners, this is legit. This is the real deal. These these bits of yak meat, listen to that. peppered yak jerky. This is yak from their own farm. So obviously yak is a big animal. They share with the rest of the family as well, but the yak meat in both of these dishes came from their farm. So Lee and I, cheers. I have a feeling our budget needs to extend to include that. That's awesome. So chewy. You really have to work at it. Normal jerky already you have to work at it, but and they put chili and Sichuan peppercorns in the jerky. That might be the best bite of the meal. That's so good. So we got a re-up on the soup, but I got some new information. So I said, why is this called baozi? Heshan baozi is the name. So on top, I recognized the shape of the way to make it, but I thought it's just so unique. Monks here eat goat, sheep, and also yak. So as far as Thailand, it's also Buddhist. There's a ton of different tradition, but I'll just say the special thing in this specific area, monks here eat sheep, goat, and yak meat. So this is called a monk bun. Monk bun, and it's full of yak meat. The food tastes good, but how does it work like that? When you know that the family raised this exact animal, somehow it makes you even more thankful. It makes the food taste even better. That's so cool. And we are gonna finish our dinner. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Nope, surprise, we're having dessert. Suan Nai is sour milk, and what do you know? Not cow's milk. This is gonna be great. Dude, that is amazing. Okay, I don't actually know yet if it's cold, but this might be, is that yak ice cream? Walnuts on top. Closer to cheese than it is to ice cream. That is, wow, and it is sour too.
That tastes like yogurt. This is called yak yogurt.
Wow, that is unique. So it is not sweet at all.
It's so different than from Shangri-La.
Yeah.
Shangri-La is crazy sour. This one is so good.
Dude, Greek yogurt, definitely step number 2, now taken over by Tibet yogurt. That's excellent. Mao Niu Suan Nai is how to say this. Mao Niu is yak, niu, cow, Mao Niu, yak. Suan is sour, Nai is milk. Wow, and man, the world needs to know more about this. Can you imagine seeing Tibetan yogurt on your local supermarket shelf? Would you go for it? Let me tell you, it is excellent. I just think it's cheesy as the first, in an awesome way. Like yogurt can still be sweet. Well, tons of yogurts, they add sugar, but if you get unsweetened yogurt, it still doesn't taste as much like cheese as this does. It's just awesome. I'm happy you ordered that. Thank you.
因为在那个香格里拉，我们吃了这个，哇，特别酸。对，然后这个其实，怎么还不一样的？
还有一种就是牦牛奶。
Oil from the milk.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So this one didn't take the oil from the milk, and then when they made, they add a little bit sugar, so they made this flavor. And they said if the milk they didn't add any sugar, and then take away the milk oil,
Yeah.
then it's another way.
So it is a little bit fermented. So even though the town really is focused on tourism, there are still, of course, many people here taking care of all the tourists, many people who live here, many people who work at all the different resorts and hotels, and they need to eat their own local food. So that was so cool. Kudos to Lee for noticing that restaurant. Very cool. Great to meet the family, the husband and wife. They're from Songpan, like you heard, that's where we were yesterday, so that's a cool connection. And man, the amount of different yak, delicious items is impressive. So Leah and I are gonna walk home. Oh man, looking at my own face is kind of funny. It was so harsh riding here. The wind is so strong, the air is so dry. The beauty though reminds me actually of Colorado. Just imagine the Rocky Mountain National Park without any people. That's basically what I rode through today. Amazing. So great to smell the pine trees. The wind was raging. I am learning just how nice and easy bike rides are most of the time in Thailand. It does rain a lot and it does get very hot, but now I'm used to it. So, man, the wind, it's just another level. The wind and the cold. Leah and I are gonna walk back to our hotel. It was about 20 minutes walk to find this place. Just kind of digest and enjoy the evening. Thank you for hanging out with us. See you tomorrow for another food adventure up here in the borderlands of Tibet. Rock on. Good night.